July 11th. Notice here a bruise. I was arrested on July 4th. Officer DeBlau of the Ventura County Sheriff's Department office. He did this to me. It has taken nearly those many days for that to show up. It appears that he was intending for blood clots to enter into my system. His partner, I believe his name, I have to check the record, but it could be Zavala, I'm not sure. He slammed this side of my head into the ground. They claimed that I was resisting arrest, to which there is no quality, none. How could I have tensed to cause this injury? I can hardly lift my arm above my head. The tendons and the ligaments in the elbow make it difficult for me to clench my fist. I was sitting in the Ojai gazebo. There is no quality to their arrest. That means they didn't have a good arrest. I Mirandized them. This is a military circuit in a commercial zone via CNN. I haven't been working for CNN. I have a iReport with a checkbox of assignment approved from 2010. That's 2010. Prior to that, the only journalism I have is at the university level in good standing. I believe they're racist against journalists. Beyond that, particularly me, for victimizing my children over the years that they believe they had a right to raise without letting me know, specifically, if they let me know that was occurring, that the children were in town and they were learning how to child molest them, predatorially, sexually, and then worse, through the use of stimulants, drugs, essentially training on them, when the children would not have wanted to be trained upon that way. They're weak links. Secondarily, they're dangerous people. They're playing a game that I'm not playing with them. When something was moving around behind them, it caused me to say something out loud about the Blau statement 72 hours prior to that at the library where he was talking with this kid named Robo, the nickname Robo, Robert Travacci or something of that nature, who had been written a ticket for operating his bicycle on the wrong side of the street the night before by Officer Kip, Detective, whatever his name is, Sheriff's Deputy Kip. And the Blau came over to chit-chat with him about that ticket. I was sitting there after having been in the library, utilizing library patron services, computers, reading the newspaper, things like that. And I said to him, "What is that YK137 button?" The Blau looked right at me and said, "That's classified." And I thought, you're serving. You're not supposed to have classification. You're not classified. If you're a service patroller and you're classified, you're doing Central Intelligence Agency wet work, knowing how to leave horrible, horrible problems 16 different places on the body that won't bruise. Obviously, he caused bruising. And he did so in a way where if I can't move my arm to move this away, that hoping a blood clot will disable me or kill me. Now, I might be a little paranoid about it, but this is the third time they've harassed me. And I have filed Warren and Company reports and investigative notes about this, to which they have come back and stated the facts are not in dispute. They said they're done with their investigation very rapidly. And I'm not going to file a third one because there's really no point to it. That gives me 2 Warren filings, a court filing, a brief about Strategic Defense Initiative and Expert Basic, which they knew wasn't one of those things. And you're pirates. You raided my house and took my belongings, one of which was a server built by the Hewlett-Packard Company, and then rated in the firmware to an IRS audit. And now you're complaining that the audit is bothering you. You don't have a right to use a pressure handplate of a $2 million life insurance policy that this person, Sarah Tatiana Golian or Sarah Millicent McClister, however her name might be. The only point is she's in a claim file with an 8-year-old at 2008. She was 27, and she's a basket case. She's one of those children who were raised in Port Angeles and ate LSD until the cows came home. I don't think there are very many cows in Port Angeles, Washington. The mulatto who's in the White House, I can't determine if he wants to assassinate me, use me as a pincushion, voodoo-wise, without the economics, to find whether or not he wants to destroy me, order people like this to cause harm to me because he knows he's a fraud. His entire presidency is a sham. And they're playing the game of, for you, when in fact, like K-137 sounds an awful lot to me like, since I have barcodes all over the Form 602s, sounds to me an awful lot like all he wants to do is party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. Instead of spending $15,000 when it was $3,000 to close the audit, he's allowing $15,000 worth of auditing to go through each of our digital angel frequencies and letting the drones kill people with it. And he's got the top level clearances all day long until he loses the clearances, which is what's happened. And so now you're hearing it. And then in 2010, I went back to the school at the university and filed my statement of purpose. And since then, things have gotten even stranger. And I've met my children now. And although they're great, they're females, except for the 2 boys. And there's a grandchild involved. There might be 3 boys. The point is, none of them are date rape children. And they were all obviously desired, except maybe the relationship with me was not. But I can't imagine the mothers and I would have not argued. She probably just decided to go out with the next boy the next day and couldn't remember who got her pregnant. That's all right. I'm not the easiest person to have a relationship with. But I don't need you banging me into the cement because you smelled on a 44-year-old male's breath, whether you call me a male or not. Having something to do with bad breath when I ask for a field sobriety test? You don't say I'm obstructing justice. I asked you for a field sobriety test. You refused to administer that. Then you put me in custody and said I was obstructing justice. The 2 of you looked like you were walking across the park when I yelled out, "Classified, huh?" So what? You're your own worst enemies. I am turning this into the courts. I might not have the most physically masculine body ever. I might have bad teeth, or bad hair, or bad skin. These are not rights and reasons for you to destroy the integrity of another being. It's not your business. And if that is what your business is, you ought to fall down dead. Especially if you're fauna that look anything like I do, with a bigger pair of shoulders, or a longer cock, or better looking nose, or hair. You're not very smart men. Please, anticipate showing up. August 6th, 2015, 030, 0800, 30 hours. Department 11. Don't be late. I look forward to talking with you and asking you to determine why it was necessary to use such excessive force. I was lying down with my ADA card next to me. Did I drink? I had a half a pint of Jim Beam earlier than I ate lunch. I was relaxing in the gazebo. I was about to leave. Had they not pushed themselves in front of me and caused their mirror images and their little cameras or their gaming friends at the subordinate level to take KA laser shots at them, they probably wouldn't have heard anything in their mind, and they probably wouldn't have gotten any kind of feeling. The only thing I use at the theatrical level is a valid FBI complaint. And so if what they're looking at me for is to say, just a stupid FBI agent, we don't like him here, take your Mulholland Falls up to the top of Mulholland Falls and throw you and your homosexual friend, if you'd like, to hold hands on the way down homosexually until you can't move anymore. Help us out. Just because you're bigger and stronger doesn't mean you're smarter. You should keep your hands to yourselves. You really should. Especially when you've been arrested, and you have been arrested, and I have to remind you, you're under arrest, you have the right to remain silent. Mr. DeBlau and your partner. As I Mirandized you at that time, did I not? You remember those silver white lights up there? You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be made available. Using the system in a frivolous complaint is against the law. You're illegal. I would clean out my desk if I was you, resign the badge and collar of authority, and walk away. Maybe you get a hired hand job somewhere on someone's ranch. That's what I would do if I was you. You're shameful.